Very good afternoon and a warm welcome to one and all. We have Miss Leena Chavaan, Office of Divisional Deans, who will be delivering a talk on the subject Poetry Expressions of Beauteous Mind, a Tale of Beautiful Journey. Thank you. Over to Leena.
So, thank you, Miss Geeta, for the introduction. And today I am going to talk about the poetry expressions of beauteous mind and a tale of beautiful journey. The second part is you should not get bored with the first part. That's why the second part, a tale of beautiful journey. So I am not going to recite only the poems, but I am going to tell a little bit about my own journey also. Okay. So finally I am here. What I am going to talk when my turn will come, this question was really haunting me for quite long time, because I heard the many good talks like Mr. Virenna Kamar sir, who wrote a book, Miss Kavita, who talk about the celebrities, then Miss Bharti, who talk about the boosters of life. That was really entertaining. Miss Krishnakant Kumar, who talk about the hobbies and passions. Of course, I myself have so many hobbies and passions. So Miss Jayasri, who talk about 3 M's, and I thought that, oh, I don't have any common letter in my life, and so on. So I just thankful to them that they have really did their job very good. So I was wondering what I will talk. So few days back when I was teaching Hindi to my son, why I take his Hindi, that you will very soon come to know. So then he told me that he has a new chapter, Dohe. So and then I started taking his study. First Doha came, okay, काल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब, पल में प्रलय हो जाएगी, बहुरी करेगा कब. Then second Doha came, ऐसी बानी बोलिए मन का आपाक होए, औरन को भी शीतल करे आपहु शीतल होए. My son was very surprised. How I know this Doha? Then I realized, okay, then it took me really back to my memory lane, and I realized, oh, this is the topic wherein I can talk about a lot. So today I am going to talk that how the different kinds of poetry has come into my life and how I got attached to it or inspired by it. Okay, तो अब शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. Yeah, of course I will talk little bit Hindi also. I hope everyone understand that. So shuru se shuru means long back in 80s when I used to stay in the Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Yes, actually till 5th standard I was staying in Indore. Indore is a very beautiful city. I think 4 times in a row it got the award for the cleanest city in India. So that's my Indore. Okay. So Indore means a small city, but we have the big house and big family. Ours was a joint family. We were having the family business, jewelry business. And joint family means so many people are there. And business family means they will not put you to the English medium because they know what you are going to do. Either you will get married or you will settle down in some business. So they obviously put me in Hindi medium. So this is Hindi medium, okay. And joint family means you don't require your mom and dad always. There are so many uncle aunts were there. I have 5 uncle and aunties. So a really big family here. So I was in the Hindi medium. So I wrote recently some lines about my childhood when I started writing about this. That black and white से कलर में आ गए, लेकिन मन तो वही छोड़ आए. कस्से तो बढ़ गए हम, लेकिन बचपन मन से ना जाए. उन पुरानी गलियों में भटकते हुए मन को कैसे समझाऊं. आगे बढ़ना दुनिया की रीत है, ये अब तक समझ ना पाऊं, ये अब तक समझ ना पाऊं. So again coming back, when I was in 4th and 5th standard, we used to have the Kabir ke dohe and Rahim ke dohe. And we used to like them so much that every now and then we used to talk about that. So we by-hearted it so much that till now I remember those dohe. And whenever I remember anything about my childhood memory, there are of course food, which is the most important from the Indore. And then second, this dohe part, which I really loved it. So now I am going to introduce my first poet, Sant Kabir Das. I have taken some Google notes from about the Kabir Das. So that I will read out. Don't feel bored about that. Kabir Das was a 15th century Indian mystic, poet and saint. His writing influenced Hinduism's Bhakti movement, and his works are found in Sikkim's scripture Guru Nanak Sahib, the Sadguru Granth Sahib of the Saint Garib Das and Kabir Sagar. Born in the city of Varanasi in what is now in Uttar Pradesh, he is for being the critical for both organized religion and religions. He questioned and he regarded to the meaningless and unethical practices of the all religions, primarily what he considered to be the wrong practices in Hindu and Muslim religion. During his lifetime, he was threatened by both Hindus and Muslims for the views, but when he died, several Hindus and Muslims he had inspired claim him as theirs, because he has really written a wonderful doha. So coming back to that, I will talk about some of his very famous dohes, which is, I really wonder sometimes that he has written this in the 15th century, and till now we see that meaning is till now it is true. Okay, like he's one of the famous, like काल करे सो आज कल, आज करे सो अब, पल में प्रलय हो जाएगी, बहुरी करेगा कब. So that, of course, because of the corona, everybody knows that now. Okay, we have to do whatever in this moment only, because we never know whether the tomorrow will come or not. Okay, so some of his famous dohe I would like to recite. ऐसी वाणी बोलिए मन का आपा खोए, औरों को शीतल करे आपहु शीतल होए. If you want me to tell the meaning of it, I will do that also. Do you want me? Yes. Okay, yeah. So इसका भावार्थ है, कबीर दास जी कहते हैं कि इंसान को ऐसी भाषा बोलनी चाहिए जो सुनने वाले के मन को बहुत अच्छी लगे. ऐसी भाषा दूसरों को तो सुख पहुंचाती है, लेकिन जो ये भाषा बोलता है उसे भी सुखद अनुभव देती है. दिस इज वेरी नाइस. बड़ा होया तो क्या हुआ जैसे पेड़ खजूर, पंथी को छाया नहीं फल लागे अति दूर. ये कबीरदास कहते हैं कि खजूर का पेड़ बेशक बहुत बड़ा होता है, लेकिन ना वो किसी को छाया देता है और ना वो फल भी उसके बहुत दूर ऊंचाई पे लगते हैं. इसी तरह आप अगर किसी का भला नहीं कर रहे हो तो भले ही आप कितने भी बड़े हो, कितने भी रिच हो, इसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. ये भी बहुत अच्छा है. दुख में सुमिरन सब करे, सुख में करे ना कोई. जो सुख में सुमिरन करे तो दुख काहे को होए. दुख में हर इंसान ईश्वर को याद करता है, लेकिन सुख में सब ईश्वर को भूल जाते हैं. अगर सुख में भी ईश्वर को याद करो तो दुख कभी आएगा ही नहीं. That means God only is telling us, okay, yeah, now it's time to remind me, so that then only it will give you some kind of dukh. Then काल करे सो आज करे, ये तो हो गया. ओके, नहाए धोए तो क्या हुआ जो मन मेल न जाए, मीन सदा जल में रहे धोए बास न जाए. इसका भावार्थ है कि आप कितना भी अच्छा नहा धो लीजिए, लेकिन अगर मन आपका साफ नहीं हुआ तो उसे नहाने से क्या फायदा. जैसे मछली हमेशा पानी में रहती है, लेकिन फिर भी वो साफ नहीं होती. मछली की भी तो तेज बदबू आती ही है. साई इतना दीजिए जामे कुटुंब समाए, मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं साधु ना भूखा जाए. कबीरदास कहते हैं कि प्रभु मुझे ज्यादा धन और संपत्ति नहीं चाहिए, मुझे इतना केवल चाहिए कि जिसमें मेरा परिवार अच्छे से खा सके और मैं भी भूखा ना रहूं और मेरे घर पे जो कोई आए वो भी भूखा ना रहे. ये वन मोर आई विल गोइंग टू टॉक. मन के हारे हार है मन के जीते जीत, कहे कबीर हरि पाइये मन की ही परतीत. जीवन में जय पराजय केवल मन की भावनाएं है. यदि मनुष्य मन से हार गया, निराश हो गया तो पराजय है, और यदि उसने मन को जीत लिया है तो उसकी विजय है. ईश्वर को भी मन के विश्वास से ही पा सकते हैं. यदि प्राप्ति या भरोसा नहीं है तो ईश्वर को कैसे पाएंगे. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट माय व्हेन आई वाज इन इंदौर. सो दिस इज व्हेन आई केम अक्रॉस द हिंदी पोएट्री. ओके, सो Okay, after that, then my parents shifted to Mumbai. So they wanted to stay separate and do the business. My mom is from Mumbai, so that's why they selected Mumbai. I never wanted to come to Mumbai actually that time because I was liking Indore very much. So my grandfather also wanted me the same. He wanted me to stay with him. But of course my parents won't let me stay there. Then also 1 year I stayed without my parents in, I was in 5th standard, just started, and they came to Mumbai. So I started with the 5th standard, and that time in Indore 5th standard was a board exam. So they don't want to miss that. So 1 year I stayed with my uncle and aunt, and I told, means our family was like, means we never thought that okay, ये cousin है, ये है, ऐसे नहीं, ये मेरा भाई है, ये मेरी sister है, बस that kind of relation we were having. So, but finally, of course, I have also come to Mumbai. So now Mumbai means big city, but very small house and small family. Means you can't imagine, we were really staying in a very small house that Bangaloreans can't even imagine. But one good thing about the Mumbai is that you get very good neighbors, and they are like your family. So we are also having the good neighbors and friends, and so I never thought that I am from nuclear family. In Mumbai, there were no Hindi medium, of course. So now they were not having any option but to put me either English medium or the Marathi medium. But my parents decided to put me in Marathi medium. Of course, after 6th standard, I was in Marathi medium, but after 8th, some of the subjects are in English. And then, so in initially it was very tough, like Hindi or Marathi. Even if we speak Marathi at home, in Indore Marathi means so much of mix of Hindi. Okay, it is not like a pure Marathi we used to speak. So initially it was very tough. One of my school friends, she is a Brahmin, so she was very good at Marathi and she improved my Marathi a lot. So now my situation has become na ghar ka na ghat ka. Means whenever I am in Mumbai, people used to say, "Arey, तुम्हारी हिंदी की मराठी कितनी खराब है." When I used to go to Indore, they say, "अरे तुम्हारी हिंदी एकदम खराब हो गया बिलीना." So it has become like this. So I was like a pendulum. Yeah, one side Hindi, one side Marathi. But as the days passed, I started liking the language and started reading the books also. I like many poems and that times also. But I am going to talk about, I am not going to talk about them because then it is very difficult for you people to understand. Hindi to theek hai, Marathi to aur bhi tum bore ho jayenge. So then, I am going to, and I am not a good translator also. Okay, from the translation part of view, I will tell you one small incident, maybe after some time. But when I was in Mumbai, one poem we were having, and I still remember that somehow because it is connected to the monsoon. So I still remember that poem very much, and so that only one poem I am going to talk about, but don't tell me to translate. I will tell you little bit about the gist of it. But and about my translation, I will tell you one incident. When we were in Tata, I was working in Tata Cancer Research Institute. So that time me and my friend, my lab mate, we went to buy some gift for some another lab mate. So there was one Marathi card. It was written, means I still remember those 4 lines, not all, but 4 lines, that जीवनाचा सारी पाठ दोघे मिळून खेळूयात, सुख दुःखाचे पासे दोघे मिळून टाकूयात. So she was Bengali and she asked me, and some more lines were there, now I don't remember. So she asked me, what is this, Leena? So I was like, first I was like, what is Saripat? How to explain her what is Saripat? Then I told, Saripat means a game of Ludo. So they are telling this game of Ludo is the game of life of Ludo. Okay, Ludo game of life that we will play together. Sometimes it is Sukh or sometimes it is Dukh. So somehow I just translated her, and she said, okay, I think okay, I understood little bit. So this is what translation is my. So I am very bad translator. Okay. So now coming back to my Marathi, I am going to introduce my second favorite poet, Bal Kavi. His name is the Trembak Bapuji Thomre. It is a he is a Marathi language poet from Jalgaon district of Maharashtra. Bal Kavi was born in 1889 in Marathi Deshastha Brahmin family, and his father was employed in the police department. Due to frequent shuffling of posting of his father, his education suffered a lot. Bal Kavi had an elder sister and also had an elder and younger brother. Due to his father's job, he spent his childhood in Jamer, Yaval, Betawad, Erandol towns of Jalgaon district. Till he went in the 4th class, he did not involve in the poetry writing. In the 4th class, he first time read the poems of the Sridhar Mahipath. When Bal Kavi was 14-year old, he traveled to Kashmir, Agra and Mathura with poet R. Vaidya. Bal Kavi's first ever poem was published at Erandol's Dasha Kala weekly magazine, titled as the Mulan's Upadesh. When he was 17, he presented his poem in front of the large audience for the first time, Poetic Assembly of Maharashtra at Jalgaon. At this very gathering, Kanoba Ramodas Kirtika bestowed him by Bal Kavi title. Okay, so he got Bal Kavi title at that time. Okay. So whenever why I actually remember this, because whenever Shravan month comes, now I always remember these lines of the Bal Kavi. So this Shravan is a very auspicious month for us. Means we don't eat non-veg. Means whoever the people are eating non-veg, they also that whole month they don't eat non-veg. It is like a Ramzan for us. Okay, we were fasting and things like that. And in Shravan month, generally actually you get the rains, not a pouring type, but you get a drizzling rain. At least in the time of Bal Kavi. Now I can't say, because now every day is when is the winter, when is the monsoon, when is summer, you never know. So but at least Bal Kavi time, this is the what. So he has explained that Shravan month very nicely in his poem. I will first read the poem and I will tell you little bit gist of it. As I told you that I can't translate the whole poem. But श्रावण मासी हर्ष मानसी हिरवळ दाटे चोहीकडे क्षणात येते सरसर शिरवे क्षणात फिरुनी ऊन पडे वरती बघता इंद्रधनुचा गोफ दुहेरी विणला असे मंगल तोरण काय बांधले नभो मंडपी कुणी भासे. He is telling that whenever Shravan Mas comes, you will see everywhere it is a greenery, you will see. Because little rains is drizzling, and sometimes you will see the rains, and in the next moment you will see the sun. Okay, so it is like that in Shravan Mas. Shravan Mas generally comes in the month of August. Okay, July, August it comes. So and the rain, sometimes the rain stops and suddenly you get sunny. So you see maximum number of the rainbows in the Shravan month. Okay, so that he is telling that Varti Bhagata Indradhanucha Gofa Duheri Vinlase. I can't translate that. Okay. So Jalasa Suryasta Vatato Sanj Aha to Ugde Taru Shikaravar Uncha Gharavar Pive Pive Una Pade. Sometimes we feel okay, now it is started raining, so it becomes very blackout type. So you think that okay, already it is sunset has happened, but suddenly then it becomes sunny, and on all the roofs you will see the yellow colored this one, not un, sunny sun, yeah, sir. So he is mentioning that. उठती वरती जलदान वरती अनंत संध्या राग पहा सर्व नभावर होय रोखिले सुंदरतेचे रूप महा बालक मला उडता भासे कल्पसुमनांची माळीचते उतरणी येती अवनी वरती ग्रह गोलाची की एकमते फडफड करुनी भिजले आपुल पंख पाखरे सावरती सुंदर हरणी हिरव्या कुरणी निज बाळांसह बागडती खिल्ला रेही चरती राणी गोपही गाणी गात फिरे मंजुळ पावा गाई तयांचा श्रावण महिमा एक सुरे सुवर्ण चंपक फुल्ला विपिनी रम्य केवढा दरवळला पारिजातही बघता भामा रोष मनीसा मावळला सुंदर परटी घेऊन हाती पुरोपकंठी शुद्धमती सुंदर बाला या फुलमाला रम्य फुले पत्री खुडती देवदर्शना निगती ललना हर्ष मावेना हृदयात वदनी त्यांच्या वाचून घ्यावे श्रावण महिन्याचे गीत. Means this is the song of the Shravan month. That's what he is telling in the. So he has described how the nature will look like in the Shravan month. Okay. So that's why I just only one poem I can describe in Marathi. Otherwise, I like so many other poets also. But I thought, okay, this one which is actually I feel very connected to my life. So because I also like monsoon and nature and all those things. So that's why I thought I will just recite only one poem at least. So then as I grew bigger, we were having totally the English medium, as I told, because then I completed my graduation, post-graduation, and I was very busy with my studies that no time for literature that time. I started working in Tata Cancer Research Institute. So when I joined, I was working in one lab, and then my boss retired and I have been shifted to another lab. So there one girl joined as a PhD student. So when I joined, she joined almost same time. So we were juniors in the lab. So we used to share like our problems. Of course, the common boss problem we used to share. Then and then we started realizing that some of we have some common interest also. And because of her, again that reading part has come back because she was a avid reader. And she was very good in English also. That sometimes she used to do the proofreading, and sometimes she used to correct our if we having some lab meetings or some presentation we have to do. She used to correct that, and she used to do the proofreading also. And she used to improve in a much better English. So she herself also used to write a lot, and she used to. But I was not knowing that she writes so much good also. But now I am going to introduce my third poet. She is Miss Madhura Pradhan, who is a really very good friend of mine. And so she used to write. I know that she writing. So one day her husband told her that you are really writing a very good. So why don't you publish a book on your poetry? So she then inspired by her husband, she has published one book. This is her first book, Moonlit Musing. So this is a poetry book. So I am going to read about this book. On the back, they have given the something that I am going, because I know her very well. But whatever book says that I am going to read. So Moonlit Musing is a spontaneous and straight from the heart. This is probably the reason why it touches the chord even within the people untouched by this word of poetic creativity. It is a collection of 38 poems that cover several aspects of life. It has brought a smile to everyone who has read it and will continue to do so. These poems, combined with beautiful illustrations, convey unsaid feeling and make for an excellent gift for loved ones. Okay. So, of course, 38 poems I am not going to read, otherwise you will run away. So, some of I have selected some of the poems, and good that it is in English, so I think everyone will understand. So, you don't have to break your head. So, first poem is I Am Gemini. I like this because she is Gemini, and how she has described about herself. Once. I am Gemini. Okay. It's true, that's me. I am Gemini 2 in 1. I tell ya, it's so much fun. One, a hopeless romantic. Think life is a fantastic. Love resides in her heart, unreachable through she's an art. Full of passion and compassion. She is the one with no comparison. Other is smart and knows a lot about give and take and crime and fake. Mistakes she shouldn't make. She has the courage to stand up for the right. She would never give up, will fight with all her might. It's true, both two sides of coin, heart and head, both adjoin. It's true, that's me, I am Gemini. Then her second poem I am going to read, that Make a Wish. Oh, this is very. So God tells you, When you are tired of running around, when you are tired of facing the crowd, when you don't want to hear any sound, when your thoughts are messed up and all you have in doubt, make a prayer, make a wish, and I will be there soon. You will see me in the moon. When you can't take the pain anymore, when you spend sleepless nights crying your eyes sore, when you stand up every morning but you are broken inside till the very core, when you want to so much life that you had before, then make a prayer, make a wish, and I will be there by your side. You will feel the wind and see me in your mind. When you see a flower and think of burnt trees, when you see a fish and see life freezes, when you see the child and think of tears, when you see the crime and think of who cares, make a prayer, make a wish. When I will fix it, I will blow you a kiss, I will blow you twice. Stop running like a river, there are moments to savor. Make a prayer, make a difference, make a favor, make a wish. Okay, yeah, this is really, even I like it. Okay, then 19th is next poem I'm going to talk about is 19, Run Away. Okay. When this crazy world goes unfair and more or less you don't care, children on the street give you cold stare and all of it gets more than you bear, run away. Run away like a hair on fire, run away like a speed like desire. Once upon a time you felt very brave, had the passion and the crave, felt like you can bring back the wave. There was a word you wanted to save. Now you don't have say a word. Cries of misery are unheard. When your dreams lie shattered, when suddenly you feel so tired, run away. Okay, this is now one romantic poem, My Cutie Pie. You are everything, my best friend, my angel, my good God sent. You are the love of my life, my soulmate. Life without you I shall live to hate. You are my softest pillow, my painkiller. I am the ceiling, you are the pillar. You are the reason I smile. You are my ocean, I am your Nile. You are the one for whom I cry. You are the one for whom I sigh. You are the one for whom I would fight. Only you for whom I would die. You are my sweetest, my handsomest, my love, my cutie pie. Okay, so I will quickly go to now next 85 because I think time is also running out. Yeah. So in the sky, this poem is princely stars, priceless arts. I see every night in the sky. I walk on land, my feet in sand. I feel you move and I wave my hand. Look at me, smile back. I know you wink at me. Loneliness leaves my heart when you play your part. Priceless art, princely stars, I see every night in the sky. So this is about the Madhura. So she was a really very good friend and we really had a very nice time when we were in Tata and then we moved to the Piramal Life Sciences. So we really had very nice time. And because of her, I get to know some more actually authors and poets. So then I got married and shifted to Bangalore. Now the Bangalore means big city, but good that big house also, but the family is still small. So Madhura, my friend, she is also shifted to UK, but we are still in touch. And me and she, we used to like one poet. In fact, because of her only, I got introduced to this poet. So my next poet, my fourth poet, which I am going to talk about, is William Wordsworth. I think Geeta knows about him. So Wordsworth name only suggests his words are really worth listening. Okay, so this is a big book, but don't worry, I'm not going to read everything. So I have selected some of his poems, but before that I will just introduce little bit about what I got it from Google. that William Wordsworth was born in the Cockermouth, Cumbria, England on April 7, 770. Then he actually grew up in the England only, and Wordsworth's most famous work, The Prelude, which is the Edward Moxon 1850, is considered by many to be the crowning achievement of the English Romanticism. He is the 18th century poet which actually introduced the Romanticism in the poetry. So many new poets look upon to him. The poem revised numerous times. This prelude is a very big poem actually. So this he revised many numerous times. It is the chronicles of the spiritual life of the poet and marks the birth of the new genre of the poetry. All the work on the prelude throughout his life. The poem was published posthumously. Wordsworth spent his final years settled at Riddal Mount in England, traveling and continuing his outdoor excursion. Devastated by the death of his daughter Dora in 1847, Wordsworth seamlessly lost his will to compose the poems. William Wordsworth died at Riddal Mount on April 23, 1850, leaving his wife Mary to publish the prelude 3 months later. Okay. So some of his very famous poems, and I really like. He is also the poet that he has selected the subject which is around him. Means he has selected very small things like a flower or sky or a bridge, whatever he is seeing in the everyday life, that he has selected, and he has described them so well that we could actually imagine, okay, how it could be like. And Madhura, she in between sent me his house photo also. So I was asking, oh, this is very beautiful surrounding, where it is. He said, she was telling me that it is William Wordsworth house. So that house was also so nice, beautiful, and he means it is like a countryside he used to stay, and very beautiful surrounding. So every day what he used to see, that he has put it in the poems. And earlier he used to write very big poems, but then he met some poets actually, and then he started writing the poems in a normal way. So some of his poems which I really liked it, so I am going to read that one. First one is that I wandered lonely as a cloud. So I will tell you about this poem also. One of the Wordsworth's most famous poem, I wandered lonely as a cloud, is about the poet's kinship with the nature, and how the memory of daffodils dancing cheers him whenever he recalls them. Daffodils, you know how beautiful flower is that. So what less known is the Wordsworth's sister Dorothy, and indeed his wife had a hand in composition of the poem. So I am going to read this one. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of dancing daffodils. Along the lake beneath the trees, 10,000 dancing in breeze. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling wave in glee. A poet could not be but the gay in such a laughing company. I gaze, but little thought what wealth the shoe to me had brought. For often when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. If you people have seen that daffodil, the fields, it is really very beautiful, and how he has really described that fields and that daffodil, means you feel like, okay, now you have to go there. So second poet is composed upon the Westminster Bridge. I told you now that he has taken the subjects which is every day he used to see, and beautifully he described. So my title also, how it came, that I will tell you in the end of this. So this is another poem composed of Westminster Bridge. This sonnet, written in 1802, praises the beauty of London in the early morning light. As the poet stands on Westminster Bridge, admiring the surrounding buildings, London, even by the early 19th century, was a word of industrialization. So smog was there, means smoky and fog because of the industrial activity, as well as the center of the government and empire, two things that came under the heavy scrutiny by the early romantic poets. Yet the London of early morning is serene and still, and is this quiet scene that Wordsworth praises here. So this poem is to say, I am going to say Westminster Bridge. Earth has not anything to shew more fair. Dull would he be the soul who could pass by. A sight so touching in its majesty, this city now doth like a garment wear. The beauty of morning silent bare, chiefs, towers, domes, theatre, and temple lie upon unto the fields and to the sky, all bright and glittering in the smokeless air. Never did the sun more beautifully steep in his first splendor valley, rock, or hill. Never felt a calm or so deep. The river glits in his own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still. Then this is actually to the skylark, which is okay. I will come to this sun and 3 years she grew in sun and shower, which is a very beautiful poem about a flower only. So this is I am going to read. This is little bigger, but I am going to read various some 2-3 stanzas only. 3 years she grew in sun and shower, and then nature said a lovelier flower. On earth was never sown, this child I do myself will take. She shall be mine, and I will make a lady of my own. Myself will do my darling be, both law and impulse and with me. The girl in rock and plain, in earth and heaven, in glade and bower, shall feed an overseeing power to kindle or restrain. She shall be supportive as a fawn that wild with glee across the lawn, or up the mountain springs, and hers shall be the breathing balm, and hers the silence and the calm of mute incense things. So how beautifully he has described a flower as a lady, and how beautifully he has put it this. And last but not the least, I am going to talk about his beautiful poem. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. So that beauteous word I had taken in my title. I told that poetry is an expression of beauteous mind. So that beauteous word I had taken from William Wordsworth, because whenever I read any poem or something, if I come across any good word, I always write down. And this beauteous, I don't know, it stuck into my mind. So I thought, okay, I will title only, I will give like that. So this poem I am going to read that it's a beauteous evening, calm and free. Yeah. It's so this poem is actually composed on the beach near the Calais in autumn in 1802. So he was taking a walk with his daughter, and that time he has come across, he has seen that beach so beautiful and that evening. So he composed the poem on that when he was taking the walk with the daughter. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. The holy time is quiet as none. Breathless with adoration, the broad sun is sinking down in its tranquility. The gentleness of heavy brood over the sea. Listen, the mighty being is awake, and doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder everlastingly. Dear child, dear girl, that walkest with me here, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought, the nature is not therefore less divine. Though list is Abraham's bosom all the year, the worship at the temple's inner shrine, God being with thee when we knew it not. So this is about the William Wordsworth poem, and this is how the poetic journey of my life. So I have some lines on this. This is the story of my beautiful journey. Sometimes right, sometimes wrong. Sometimes big, sometimes small. With courage and fear. With smile and tear. Many ups and downs, many crests and troughs. Let's enjoy it with no worry. This is the story of my beautiful journey. So I hope people will like it and not get bored. At least 45 minutes, okay? You can bear me. Don't ask me about the life of William Wordsworth, okay? No questions on that. I am not prepared for that.
Have you read that William Robert Frost poem, madam? No?
No, I have not read that one. I will. Robert Frost.
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost, yeah. Yeah, I heard about him, but not read.
It is hopping by woods on a snowy evening.
Yeah.
So can you tell us, madam, how you got interest in the Wordsworth poetry?
No, that because my friend at Madhura, she introduced me to that poet. Actually, she used to write, whenever she used to post some pictures on the Facebook, she used to write some lines beneath that. So I told her, oh, this is your composition. She said, no, this is William Wordsworth. So then we were talking and she said that he is a very good poet and from England, and also you must read his book. And then I bought this and I started reading. So of course I don't go by series wise. Sometimes I just open some page and I start reading. And slowly, really I realized that from the small things which he sees in the everyday life, he inspired by that and he has wrote a poem on that. Still, of course, I have to finish this book. I have not finished.
Which one you like most in the Wordsworth poetry? Which poem?
Yeah.
Ode to Skylark?
No, I like many actually, but this one actually I like the most. No, but we can't say actually which I like the most. But since it is on flowers and I like the flowers, I like this one. I wandered lonely as a cloud. First one which I told, and also this 3 years she grew in sun and shower. That also I like a lot. And there are so many are there actually, but yeah, I can't say specifically. But these two are of course I like more.
See, the session was interesting when you were narrating about this poem, no?
Yeah.
So it just, when you close your eyes, you feel.
Yeah, seriously, even I.
Pathway, like especially IISc, when you just calm down, you take easy.
Seriously.
You feel, you just close down your eyes and just sit and whatever you're narrating, you just listen to it. You are like in midst of the poetry as well as in midst of IISc. It connects. That was very good.
Maybe I think that Westminster Bridge, that really that kind of atmosphere might be we can see in the early morning in IISc also like that.
Any other Indian poet do you like, ma'am?
Yeah.
I came late, sorry.
Because earlier I actually why I chose actually different language poems. That one good thing I wanted to tell that every language has its own beauty. Okay. Of course, I get to know Hindi because I was put in Hindi medium earlier when I told you. Then I get to know Marathi also. So as I started learning Marathi, I know that it has its beauty. So every language has its own beauty. So I just want to give one message that please don't hate any language per se. Okay, the people say that this is not my language, that is not okay. You don't actually study that language, but don't hate any language because every language has good words and bad words also. So it is up to you which words you wanted to take it. if you want to take the beauty of any language, of course, only of course I could not feel that expression. Sorry, I could not feel that expression for Kannada because I have not studied the grammar part of it. I know only the speaking language, but if I would have studied, maybe I would have developed interest in that part of also means poetic, from poetic point of view also. In fact, I would love to do that. So every language, how I just saw the beauty of every language, and now because in Marathi also actually I like many poets, but since nobody will understand, so I thought okay, only one poem I will recite, and then otherwise there are very good poets actually. And one of my friends, she also writes very well, so she also has a book in Marathi poems. So but I could not explain that properly because that two emotions only I can feel now. So yeah, actually, see, this Samvada is for the conversation. This whole Samvada motto is that we should have a Samvad with each other. Okay, so in fact, I would like to call the people that if they wanted to tell about something they liked it, some composition, if they like it and they wanted to say here, so this is the time I think you can come forward and you can share.
You told one thing that don't hate any language, all languages are beautiful. That in Kuvempu, when he was accepting Jnanapita award, so he's a famous lecture he gave. So in that lecture he told, it's India is like a flute, and the flute have many holes and many ragas and things. All our languages like Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Da Ni Sa,
Yeah.
like that. So all put together makes a beautiful raga song or something. So that's why we need to honor all the languages.
We need to honor, yeah, even if you don't understand, it's okay, but you should not like hate. I mean, I feel like you should not hate. Okay. You don't want to learn? Okay, no, don't learn. I came to know all these languages because I studied in those mediums. So I came to know about these 3 languages. And now I know Kannada also, but of course I don't know deep Kannada language. So that it will take me some time to develop the interest, poetic point of view. So.
Have you ever tried writing poems?
Yeah, I write. And yeah, I know that this question is going to come. And I will tell you that whenever I write, I try to write in Hindi more because that is more close to my heart, maybe, or I can express myself more in Hindi. So yes, I have written some poems in Hindi, and recently in English also. Actually, I don't have the book, but I will tell one poem actually. Yeah, I will give you the background also. I will just. This poem is about my dad. I recently lost my dad last year. So when I was thinking about him one day, so I written down some lines about it. Walking down the street holding your hands. Hearing the footstep, oh my dearest dad. When I see up in the sky, I feel sad, but you are smiling like a star, oh my dearest dad. I grew younger, you grew old. Decades have passed, oh my dearest dad. Cycle of life made us apart, but thou memories remain in my heart. Finally, that shimmering stream, today lost in the wood. Waking me up from the dream to say goodbye to my dearest dad. These last lines are actually true because my dad passed away in sleep. So one day seriously, it was Sunday and I was lying down because I get up late on Sundays, and suddenly I got a phone call. I thought, okay, my brother just like called, I have not taken. He called 4 times. Then my son is telling, Mama is keep on calling. Okay, I said, okay. Then he called my husband. Then he took the phone and suddenly he told that my dad is no more. So it was really shocking to us. So he was very quiet. He never used to shout also on us. So that quietly only he has gone. So yeah, that last lines are really that one day really to wake me up from my dream to say goodbye. That is really true lines. And I want to thank especially our sir, Professor Kaushal Verma, who really believed in us, means whatever 4-5 of us to be the part of this Samvada committee. Sir, then I would like to thank my committee members also who gel with me so much. So yeah, I'm very happy actually to be the part of this committee and this whole Samvada part. Thank you for listening to me patiently.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and if someone wants to share something which is very close to their heart, yeah.
You spoke about romantic sort of got us in the midst of all that. So let's end with something else. Sharing
like
that.
Robert Frost.
You can just
You can, yeah, sir, you can share that one. We would love to actually hear.
Thank you, everybody. So this is Robert Frost poetry. It's, the 1922 June he wrote. It's one of the best known poem in the world. So when Jawaharlal Nehru died, this book was on his besides his deathbed, and the last two lines, of course it's a one line only, repeated in twice, were underlined. So I'll read this for Geeta forced me. Stopping by woods on a snowy evening is the heading. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. This is first stanza, 4 stanzas are there. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The last stanza. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Wow, this is nice, actually nice composition.
These are the words. I admire this last stanza.
Yeah.
The 2 lines. But woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promised to keep, and miles to go before I sleep. This miles to go before I sleep is a deep meaning. Simply you can say, before I am going to bed in the night, I have to do so many things. That is also meaning. You can imagine before death takes us to the eternal
Yes.
end. So that also the poet may be telling, before I sleep, I have to do those things. That it is left to the imagination of the individual. So like that, this is one of the best known poems in the world.
Yeah.
Of the English poetry. So English, of course, I should thank her. This is the era of mobile phones and all. We don't have each other time to talk and all. So everybody else in the outer world is telling that poetry is died, storytelling is died, reading of stories is died, reading itself is died, something like that. So our reading has reduced to only the small 3 lines, 4 lines and all. So earlier used to read newspapers, the big stories, 500, 600, 1000 word stories. Now it has become 120 character, 150 character, or 180 character. So it has been reduced. In this time also, she has come up with a lovely idea of reading great Wordsworth kind of a poetry. This is really good, and all our admin assistants and all our colleagues should take this forward and make it a happening place, this Samvada. So, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I started developing writing. I like to write poems. I have written in Hindi and Kannada and English also. But it was published in one of our institute magazine where we were publishing for Women's Forum. I don't know Hindi. I maybe
You
some.
can tell that you are from English literature background.
Yeah, I am master in English literature. I got trained in 2005. So I like to write a lot. In fact I like to write stories and all, but I'm not finding time. I mean if I want to, after retirement I want to sit free and then write a lot. Or sometimes I don't know, before that also I
You can now also find time.
Okay. So I wrote about institute some time back. If any grammatical error, please, because you know Hindi well. Okay. दुनिया की नजरों में हमारा संस्थान. Like how I have seen institute during those days, I thought of writing this, and it was published in the Prakriti magazine of Women's Forum. We were publishing from 2003 to I think 2010 it was stopped. Like we were collecting articles from all the staff and creative writings, and many have written about institute in Hindi, Kannada and English and all. So my writing I'll just read out. सारी दुनिया सम्मान करे, दुनिया में जिसका पहचान भरे, हिंदुस्तान का मुकुट सारे, इस संस्थान के नाम के बारे. अद्भुत है ये ज्ञान भंडार, दुनिया को दिया नई आविष्कार, विज्ञान के नाम का ज्योति स्वीकार, बुद्धि की यहाँ चमत्कार, बुद्धि की यहाँ है चमत्कार. शांति से करे सब काम यहाँ, शक्ति से भरे मन सबका यहाँ, विद्या से हर एक का ध्यान यहाँ, चतुराई में सबका सर ऊंचा यहाँ. सुंदर है ये पाठशाला, मंदिर है ये विद्याशाला, भक्ति पूर्व का कलाशाला, विज्ञान की ये मूर्ति माला.
Then also nice, very nice actually. You have put it really nice words.
I mean, I must share. I don't know. I used to participate in caption contest in Hindi official language. So I was. They were giving some picture with Dr. Tilagam. So we had to write some Hindi poem. So whenever I wrote Hindi poems based on the picture, I used to get first prize.
Wow.
I don't know how I am writing, but I must say that I am spontaneous writing. So I also use rhyming words more.
Yes, sometimes actually some people have that this one
on the spot
that on the spot writing they are doing good.